Hey everybody, what's up? It's Dunbar Snack Bar here with MLB 2K11 and Franchise Mode as I play as the Chicago Cubs in my attempt to break the Billy Goat curse. So we'll see how I do here against the Arizona Diamondbacks on what is April 4th of 2011. I fortunately though have the advantage of playing at home at Wrigley Field, and I've got 2 losses already. Those are from the simulated games that I had to do to get to this point. And for me personally, I am in a must-win situation. I'm not happy that the Pirates won the series, and I don't want to start off the season with a 3-game losing streak early on. So Randy Wells is going to be on the mound, a right-handed pitcher, and I am definitely expecting a lot out of Wells. There's a lot of pressure on him in this game, because when I did take a look at my team to see kind of what happened after the simulated games, it looks like my bullpen saw a lot of time, and a lot of them are pretty tired. So I'm going to keep Randy Wells in the game out of necessity, regardless as to how well or how poor that he does. So expect to see a number of pitches out of him. To be honest, though, it doesn't look too hot for Randy Wells here early on in the game. It is the top of the first. This shot is going to go into left field. Alfonso Soriano is not going to have a problem getting to it, but he just does not have the arm to be able to get the guy out at home. So I am down early 1-0. And I know that this run wasn't necessarily a game-changing run, but for some reason it really, really got me going. And I made a little vow of revenge here that I would not only get that run back here pretty quick, but I'd also get a number of runs to pay them back. So Ramirez is going to get a good hit up the middle that is going to score the guy in from second. Since it was a slow roller, that was not going to be a problem there to be able to get home. So Ramirez got the first part of that revenge vow taken care of there, as I am now tied with the Diamondbacks at 1. Now the next part of the vow was taken care of not too soon after with this shot here. This is going to go into right center, not over the wall. It's going to hit the wall though, and it is going to score the runners that I had on first and second. It's going to be a nice triple. So here we are in the bottom of the first still. I am up 3-1. So maybe I should make these revenge vows a little bit more often. Maybe not use as many expletives as I did originally when they scored, but it worked out for me. Now, since both teams are reaching the end of the pitching rotation, like Randy Wells is my 4th pitcher in that rotation, both teams are playing with pitchers that are not necessarily the best pitchers on their team. So that gives my bats a great advantage. So I'm going to be definitely taking advantage of that. And I think there's going to be a lot of hits from both teams in this game. I'll kind of go into why I think that here a little bit later, because I definitely have the advantage, I feel. But I'm not too familiar with Randy Wells, so this is kind of an advantage, I guess, for the computer here. I didn't get a chance to read up on Randy Wells too much before this game, so I'm kind of going and playing it by ear. He does have a good selection of fastballs. He does have the slider, which is his only breaking ball and slightly off-speed pitch there. So I'm trying to utilize that as much as I can, but not to the point where it kind of tips off the computer that I'm going to be using it quite a bit. Now, it seems, though, that at this at-bat here against Russell Branyan, I am using it quite a bit. That's because the catcher's been telling me to go ahead and keep throwing it. But it does work here. That's going to be a swing and a miss by Branyan, so not too bad of a strikeout there by Randy Wells at all. Now, with Marlon Byrd, with Ramirez, though, this one is going to be over the wall. They keep going back like it is, and it is. So a nice shot by Ramirez. My bad, I thought it was Byrd there, but that's a good shot over the wall to expand my lead. His second of the season, which means that in the 2 games that I simulated, Ramirez did not get a home run, but that's okay, because I like getting the home runs, and I'd rather see those myself. So not too bad there by Ramirez at all. And the hurt, I think, from Ramirez and some of the other hitters on my team are going to just keep coming. Because at the next at-bat here, I've got Carlos Pena up at the plate for me. And Carlos Pena is the biggest power hitter on my team. He's going to take this shot almost into the same spot Ramirez hit it. That's another solo shot. And no, I did not raise the difficulty sliders at all, or lower the difficulty sliders, I guess I should say. Or which way? I don't know. But I did not make the game easier for me. We'll put it that way. So that way you guys know what I'm talking about. There's just a lot of advantages for me going into this game. Because while, yes, I talked about the starting rotation being where it is. There's also some other advantages for me in this game. Galarraga, who's starting off for the Diamondbacks, is playing with a minor injury. So that reduces some of his attributes. It didn't affect his stamina, but it really affected the way or the advantage that he has over hitters. So that's why I've had no problem whatsoever utilizing my team's power. Now they are going to go ahead. They are going to go ahead and replace Galarraga with Vasquez here, but that's not going to do too much for them either. Because one of the things that I do before every single game, and I recommend that you guys do this too, especially if you're playing a team for the first time in a series, and it's even good to do throughout an entire series, is to check the other team's injuries, because you might be able to find something that you can exploit or take advantage of some kind of weakness. Now, because Galarraga was injured, I kind of knew that, and I wasn't really too worried about my bats. But like I was saying earlier, my bullpen is in a pretty bad situation because a lot of them are pretty tired. But the Diamondbacks bullpen is actually in a worse situation than mine is. So the computer's going to not take the same strategy that I am, which is to go ahead and keep my starting pitcher in there regardless as to how well or how poor that he does. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to keep subbing in pitchers who are tired, which means that hitting is going to be a lot easier for me to do. That my power, which is definitely a strength for the Cubs here, is going to be magnified. And I think I'm going to be seeing a lot of big hits in this game because of that. And definitely contact hitting will be easier too. So I'm not necessarily too worried about this game because I feel I have the advantage. I'm just hoping that Wells can hold them to less runs than I get. Now this is going to be a good shot here. This is going to be Bird. Going to be into right center, of course. This is kind of what I was going to be giving you earlier, so I'm kind of stumbling on my words a little bit. That's going to be a nice triple by Bird. That's always good to see out of him. And I actually go ahead and I get the achievement for that, the start of something special. Now, this achievement you get whenever you start off an inning with a triple. And that's always advantageous for you to be able to get a guy 90 feet away from home for reasons like this. This is going to be a good shot into left field. It's a roller though, but it is going to go ahead and score Bird. So that was a nice job there to be able to get that hit. And I wasn't really too worried. I had a feeling Bird was going to go in anyway, because if it was a shot into center field, I was going to get the tag up there. And can you believe what just happened? That's Wells. That's my pitcher. I go ahead and steal a base with Wells. That is almost unheard of, but I thought I'd show that for you because with the 6-1 lead here, I was kind of messing around a little bit, and that actually wasn't smart because that was bad call on my part. Totally misjudged where the ball was going to be going on that one. They're going to go ahead, and they're going to get the triple. So we kind of switched sides here. At the top of the fifth with no outs, it was kind of like the bottom of the fourth with no outs. Each one of us now have a runner 90 feet away from home. So just as I was able to score the run, the Diamondbacks are, of course, are not going to have any problem here. Instead of getting the hit, though, it's going to be a sac fly out to right field. He's going to have no problem tagging up, and to be able to get to home. So they go ahead and they get another run. Still not too worried at all in this one here, as I still have a good lead of 6-2. Now, this is going to be a sweet throw by Castro. I'm sorry, I love fielding highlights. It's just I don't get to show them necessarily that much. But this is going to be a hit in the left field. I keep getting hits into that part of the field. I don't know why. And it seems like there in the gap are the two places that I'm hitting them. But that's going to be a 2-run single. I am now up 8-2. So things just keep going well for me. And like I said, with the advantages that I have on the batting side of things, I'm not necessarily too surprised. I'm not playing on an easy setting by any means. It's just I'm taking advantage of what's been dealt to me. Now, with the two losses that I have, like I said, this is a must-win game for me personally, which it doesn't look like I'm going to have necessarily a problem pulling away in this one. But since I'm playing in the NL Central, it's one of the toughest divisions I feel in baseball to play in. So I'm going to be going up against the Cardinals. They're actually the rivals of the Cubs, if you weren't familiar with that. So every game counts. So I definitely need to go ahead and win every single game that I can, because I know it's not going to be an easy ride like it might be in some other divisions. So got a lot of pressure here, and I'm hoping that I can go ahead and I can get a lot of good wins and hopefully give my team momentum to be able to win games when I'm simulating too, because that's the biggest question mark for me is how my team plays when I'm not playing his own. Now that was a good steal by Castro. I decided to go ahead and try and steal third with the head first slide. That's no problem at all. Castro's definitely going to be my go-to guy this season for stolen bases. He's already got 2 in this game, and I think he had some too during the games that were simulated as well. So expect to see a lot of stealing highlights coming out of Castro there. Now here's Ramirez. This shot is going to be into right field. This one's going over the wall as well. This is another home run, this time a 2-run shot for Ramirez as Castro was on third. So Ramirez with 4 RBIs in this game. And he had that one shot up the middle early on. He had 1 home run and then his second home run of the game. So power is huge in this game. I was not expecting to see this much. I definitely was not expecting to see this. Carlos Pena next up at bat. That is going into left field. This one too is out of the park. Carlos Pena, second home run. That is 2 back-to-back home runs with the same players. So Ramirez has 2. Pena has 2. That is unheard of. I would hate myself if I was the Diamondbacks right now. But to be honest, there's really nothing that they can do. They don't have any pitchers, at least they haven't put any in, that are at any stage to really stop me. They're all very, very tired. So I'm really impressed with how Randy Wells has performed so far in this game. Like I said, I wasn't necessarily expecting him to hold the Diamondbacks to like 1 or 2 runs or anything like that. Definitely not to a shutout here. But 4 runs, that's still, I think, pretty good. I can tell that as we're here in the 7th inning, the pitches are definitely getting to him. His stamina is wearing down, and he's getting pretty tired. But he's definitely holding his own. So while I was kind of worried, I'm really not too worried about having Wells start off for me. Now here's me just playing around a little bit. I get the run. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I had runners on first and third. What I did is I went ahead and started stealing first, going to second. Oh, it's a sweet dive. I forgot I had that in there. Nice job. And then here I go with having Ramirez steal a base too. I am just messing around, and I'm loving it. But going back to that crazy steal I had earlier, I had runners on first and third. I started going for second, and as soon as I saw that they were going to be, or that they were making the movement towards second, I decided to go home. I was just dumb and didn't hold up my guy at second. So, but it's all right. I'll take an out for a run. That was the last out of the game. Just a little pop fly there. I go up and I win this one 12-4. Like I said, bats were not a problem. Randy Wells gets player of the game. I'm going to say I'm on the fence on this one. I mean, he did pitch a complete game. I didn't put in any reliever because I needed to have Randy Wells in, and I needed to give my bullpen a rest. But to be honest, Ramirez and Pena with 2 home runs apiece, they could have made that too. But either way, I go ahead and I get the win. That's awesome. I definitely needed that. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Go ahead if you want to. Watch the previous Cubs game that I had. That would definitely be a big help for me. Appreciate you guys watching and everything you guys do. Feel free to subscribe, of course. As always, though,